Hi guys, wishing you all a very happy new year. I know I'm a little bit late to give you all greetings for this new year, but yes, this is the first episode of 2023. So welcome everyone in Conversation with Kriti. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you are new here, please go subscribe to my channel and click onto the bell icon. So here I am with another episode of ICK in this fresh year with the fresh content and with the fresh enthusiasm. So today I have my guest named Rizwan Ramzan. So welcoming him, and let's start this podcast on a beautiful conversation on topic healing and wellness. So yes, let's start this conversation, and please stay tuned till end to watch this video. You will get to know a lot about healing, lot about the guest, and you will get lots of energy, positive energy from this podcast. So let's start the conversation and stay. Come check this. So happy new year, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Uh, okay, so I'm very excited for this podcast because last time when I did live with you, it was a phenomenal live. I just got to learn a lot from you. So yeah, let's start this.
Sure. Yeah. Like even I'm really excited because I took a break basically from many of the things because I was focusing on some other thing. So this is basically coming back to this sort of thing, and I feel like I can do justice to your time and your viewers as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this time is all about New Year's. We all are talking about resolutions. We are recapping 2022. So I just want to start with that only. That how was yours 2022?
How was my 2022? Okay. That's a good question to start. I would say 2022 is the best year of my life so far. Um, because I feel like it is the last year that I have grown personally as how I want to, I would say, not completely, I would say, but it's a process, right? But I feel like it is last year where I realized so many things, where I've made the most mistakes, where I've failed the most. And I feel like it is the last year that I've tried most of the things. And I feel last year was the best year, I would say. And, if I were to just think of 2022 in one word, like in a word or two, I would definitely say it was like a seesaw of things. But mostly I was on the downside. But again, there were a couple of wins and successes. So overall, it was a great year and definitely the best year of my life.
Oh, that's so nice. As you said that you have made lots of mistake or lots of failure, but still you said that 2022 was the best year of your life. So yeah, I think it's something great that we learn through our setbacks. We learn from our mistakes and failure.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because I think I did the last episode on the same thing. I was just looking on my vision board and I saw that I failed at most of the things that I've planned for the last year than winning the thing. And when I saw or looked at the things that I've won, that I've succeeded, I didn't ask any question. I just went on. I was like, okay, I've won that. But when something didn't work out from the goals that I've planned, I was kind of retrospecting. I was worried why I didn't do that and all that. So I realized the importance of failures in life because last year it is from failures that I have literally tried to learn something. So I feel that is the most
Absolutely.
important. I'm excited to fail even more and better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. My next question was, I think I got the answer of this question. So, but I would ask you that what was your biggest takeaway from the previous year?
I think the biggest takeaway that I got from the last year is basically on myself that I used to think of me in a certain way.
Yeah.
Last year, I realized I'm not that person. I'm a completely different person. So that is one of the biggest takeaways that I've received. And for that, a lot of things have helped. Not only my constant reflection or retrospection, also the people, the research that I put in, the effort that I put in to learn things, and the people I interact with, the feedback, the suggestions, again, the mistakes that I've made, all of that together basically gave me an idea of how different of a person I am and how different of priorities that I really have that I used to think, okay, this is my priority, but later on, it is last year I realized, okay, that is not my priority, or this is not me, something like that. So that is like the biggest realization that I have. Like, I'm not a person who I used to think I am, but I'm a completely different person. So now it's again, like for me, 2020 was a year of losing me. 2021 was a year of again finding me. So I found me last year, and I would be like building on that this year. But again, I realized this year, like the last year, that okay, that was not me. So again, I'm trying to find me again. So I think this year 2023 will be mostly about finding who really I am, or maybe even this year getting more confused, and maybe again next year trying to find me, who actually am I. So I think that is like the biggest takeaway I have.
Oh, that's so nice. I One thing which I got to know from this, evolution is very important in a human. That evolution, what make us different, what make us like, yeah, constantly changing in our thought, our is something which we need to learn every day by day. It's not really possible that what we were last year that we are exactly in this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, that's all about 2022. Let's come to this new year. So yeah, everyone is talking about resolutions and all. So what are your resolution for this year?
Uh, I have stopped making resolutions from 2020. Till then, I used to have resolutions. Now I have resolutions for months, for weeks,
Yeah.
like for quarterly resolutions, or even daily resolutions. So I feel like resolutions are mostly something that I have been keeping hold on a daily basis, not on a yearly basis. And frankly speaking, New Year's scare me. I'm afraid of New Year's. I'm not afraid of getting older or my birthdays. I'm fine on that. But every New Year, it just make me like anxious, and I get, kind of my hand shiver usually when it is about the time, because the calendar is changing. It feels like everything is changing, and it takes some time to adapt to the changes, and you make mistakes writing like 22, 23, like when you write the years and all that. So apparently, um resolutions, I feel like, there is nothing wrong with setting resolutions, because it's again like definitely having a point where you have some special day to set on, or like start new, is a great thing. It's a great metaphor actually, for the life itself, that you can have second chances, you can fail and get back again, you can restart and all of that. But I don't set resolutions, but yeah, constant resolutions. No, I don't set resolutions only in New Year. I set resolutions very often. So that is how I take on resolutions and all that. But again, it depends on people, because not everyone try to work on these things, or not everyone is investing, as far as I know, to work on their goals as well. Like most of us really live kind of monotonous lifestyle, or
Yeah.
like even a hybrid monotonous lifestyle. So from that point of view, I feel like knowingly or unknowingly, we all are setting resolutions or setting goals as well. But again, we kind of take a conscious decision, or call it as a resolution, when we do it on like the New Year's Eve, or like the day before that.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said that you make daily resolution like a to-do list. So how do you stick to that to-do list? Like it's very hard for us to stick to what we all want to achieve in a day or in a 6 month or in a 2 month. So yeah, is there any tip which you want to give to our audience who want to stick
Um,
with their resolution or to-do list?
like we run a community called as Connectory. Okay. And from this month onwards, we have started a new thing called as Habits a Month. Okay, it's
Hmm.
a Habits a Month, like Habits for All or Habits a Month series. It's like every month we are going to do or build one activity altogether. So again, there people expected us to come like this year, like this month we have started with the fitness challenge, like fitness, like 21-day fitness, or like a habit thing. But the question again, a lot of people asked there was like, will you be giving like the exercises, or will you be asking for this and all that? It's like, no, we're not going to ask you to be accountable, or like we're not going to check in on you and all that. If you want to do it, you do it. Like this is completely up to you. If you want for something for you, you do it. But we'll be just using the group as an accountability, or like you can work to do it all together to create an accountability, to create more seriousness, or you can take part in a group activity, so that the chance of you doing that is more. Apart from that, as you asked, even I don't do a daily to-do list as well. I have my action plan, or like action list, which I call. It's like those are the things I feel I need to do today, which I could or which I need to do. And again, that's also based on the priority that I do. Some things I do, some things I don't. And in the same way, when you ask me about like 6 months or like 3 months also, I maintain this vision board. So I write down all my goals over there, all my things that I wanted to, like I want to achieve, or I want to do. And some of the things I might achieve some of the things. I again think about it, change it if I fail and all of that. That is exactly what I did this time as well. I like, I think in the last June, July, I in the last month, like in the last March, I wrote down 25 goals that I wanted to achieve last year. Again in the June, I achieved a few of that. So I went down to reflect and think what I can do. I reset that. Again in, I think in October or September, I redid that. And again in December, I changed that again. So it constantly changes. I rework on things again and again and again. So it's not like, okay, you have to do this and I stick on to that. Some things work, some things don't. You just kind of think of something, okay, like you decide, okay, I'll do this and all that. But apart from that, for the question, how I stick on to that, if I don't do it, no one else is going to do it for me. So I just push it. And I really want to live a better life. I really want people who I care about live a better life as well. And there are people who depend on me. There are people I depend upon, and I want to live in a beautiful world, or a dream, like a world of my dreams. And in that world, everyone is great, having a great life. And in order for that, obviously every change should start from us, right? So that is how I look at things. And I don't look at my goals or my dreams as dreams or goals. I look at everything I do as a job, and I do it as my responsibility. So that is how I stay consistent. Even if you don't feel like you want to do today, you do it. You do something. Some things you can't, but if there are some things which you can at least try, you do
Yeah.
that. Rest of the things you leave it. You ask why couldn't I do it, and then you do it later on. You fix that. Whenever a problem comes, you fix that. Another problem will come, you fix that. Another problem will come, you fix that. Simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. One question that suddenly pops into my mind while you are answering this, I got to I feel like, do you manifest? Like, I am asking you because I got to know you are manifesting things. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm asking it.
Yes, I do manifest things.
So how do you?
I'm a big fan of manifestations. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you manifest?
See, there are two. I think, we talk about the law of attraction, right?
Yeah,
We feel like, okay, you just manifest and it comes to you. Like we have read Polo Coelho, and we have read that, like, the universe itself provides things and all that. But I also feel like there are two kinds of manifestations. One, as how we all think, like you just manifest and you sit, it just comes to you, or you just like genuinely pray for something, or manifest as how we term it, and it reaches you. I believe that once you genuinely, like, that is the first part. Once you genuinely do that, you become more aware of it. Your brain, your body, your mind become more aware of it, and you somehow find ways to do that. That is like what I have understood. Apart from that, there is another kind of manifestation, I think, which we state as goals and we work towards it. That is also manifestation. So
yeah,
my kind of manifestation is stating things as goals, and working towards it. I break it down. And when you really put hard work, or when you really put in your everything on something, ultimately, things come into the right place at the right time. And I think that is when the manifestations become answered, or that is how it is for me.
okay, great. Okay, so let's come to a topic which I really want to discuss with you. It's the healing. Last time also I did live on the same topic, but this is something I really want to know more about this. So I'll start with the basics. What does healing mean to you?
Healing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a very deep question, I think. If you ask me what does healing mean to me, I think last time I told you it is balance, I guess. But
Balance.
I think what healing means is, I think, peace. Like peace within yourself, or peace with you, or with
Absolutely.
the things, or the contentment or the resentment you have, or you. I think your basic, like the peace you make with your awareness and the decisions your mind. I guess that is how healing is. I feel like, we talk about healing from traumas, your past
Yeah.
experiences, your breakups, or something bad happened in your life. Generally, as a trauma, like we say. But I also believe, like, healing doesn't involve forgetting any of those things,
Yeah,
as
that's
far
the
as I have
question I
figured.
want to ask. Because,
Yeah.
I'll take it like when we have a heartbreak, we always used to consider that I used to forget that person. Is it a healing or not? Like if I just when I went to some place, I just got memories of that person in my mind. So does it mean that I'm not healed from that person? I'm not healed from my past. So what do you think about this?
No,
Like
I
more often
don't
I
think
used to
it's.
feel like this. I'm
Yeah,
asking
it's
from
all the
my
same. I
perspective.
Yeah, there is this one answer. Can you forget a person? Definitely not. Right? Can
Absolutely
you
not.
forget a breakup? Definitely not. Can you forget your past? Definitely not. Because you are as much as your past, as much as your present, as much as your future. It's a part of your life. And you cannot just suddenly take away your part of your life and leave behind, because that is not what we are. Maybe you can get into like a coma or something, and when you wake up, you forget, like you forget about everything. But until and unless that happens, I think you cannot forget anything. It is always there with you embedded. I feel, the answer for all the questions related to healing comes to one thing for me, that is time. Because time is the, I think, the metric or the answer for any process, like anything, to recovering from anything. And as the time goes on, I feel like you define a different meaning
Yeah.
for the same experiences, I guess.
True.
And that is how the healing happens. Even if it's, as you said, like, getting to have the same memories of a person as you go to a place, it is not the same. Like even after a breakup, when you go like very soon after the breakup to a place or to something that you have experienced with that person,
Mm.
you have one definition to that, one experience at that place. Again, let's say after 1 or 2 years, when you go there, you have a different experience over
Yeah.
there. So I believe
Absolutely.
like healing, like time is the answer for healing, and redefining the experiences is how we basically process through healing. And I think, whoever is basically, every time someone texts me, like, I get at least like 1 or 2 messages every day based on the same question, like, I've had a breakup, I want to forget a person, I don't know how to forget this. And the only answer I give is,
Yep.
I go very straightforward, because I believe there is a difference between sympathy and empathy as well. Sympathy is not needed for, like, I don't think there is a um, good thing that is going to happen because of sympathy until like that is going to change that person. But I believe like empathy is more important. That is why I go very straight to that person and say, see, you cannot forget that person, but time is the only answer for you. You take your time, and everybody has their own time. And I believe as everybody takes their own time, the definition of their experience also change. And I believe that is how we define as healing as well.
True. Absolutely. I think healing is a very broad concept also. Healing does not only means to heal with the wound of a person, it's also healing at a spiritual level, emotional level, physical level.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how do you know when something is need to be healing at spiritual level or mental level or emotional level or even in a physical level?
I believe in two things: intuitions and signs.
Okay.
Like, because that two have helped me a lot. Intuitions, I would say, there is this book I was reading called as Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. He's like one of the great person that I admire a lot. And there is this concept called as snap judgments, which he basically goes on, says that the first instincts we always have about something, some people or someone, is always right. There have been intense research that goes on snap judgments and thin slicing, which is the process behind this. It
Yeah.
is said that, suppose, let's say you want to take a decision, 9 out of 10 times, the first thought, like even if you don't do the research also, 9 out of 10 times, the first instinct might always be right. So in that case, like, every time, um, when I feel like, there is something to be fixed, I become aware that is an intuition or an instinct. And once that happen, I look for signs, like regarding the same thing. Okay, this is there. Then depending on that, is there any sign that I can get? Is there any evidence coping with that or showing me ideas of that? Because our body is like a great machine, the best machine I would definitely say ever created. So it has its own feedback mechanisms. Even our hormones have feedback mechanism. I feel like as a organism, we have several set of feedback mechanism. I think our thoughts are also reflections of our body. So I believe I connect my intuitions and instinct to the signs that I get from the body, and at that level, from then it is process of reflection into that. You start asking questions, and once you start asking questions, you find more questions to ask. And if you feel like there is a problem, you try to fix that. And again, there is a other side or like a bad side of this as well, because most often we come into our own conclusions. Even if you have intuitions and signs, I think we consider Google as our sign, like a place where you get the sign. And most often, again, when we connect some dots, sometimes it could be wrong as well. So it is go to the right people to get my signs or to connect my signs as well. So it's also very important to have your own system of connecting your signs, your dots, your intuitions and everything. So it's basically like, I feel you get to know about it because you have been living this body for like some 20, 21, 22, 25, 35, 50 years. So I believe we all know our body pretty well to an extent. So you get to know, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Do you feel any noise from the outside?
No.
No. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question, like, it just popped into my mind. How do we know, like, how do we recognize that yes, we are healed from a certain thing? It depends from person to person, but from your perception.
I think that, again, that's also an intuition, I guess. Like,
Hmm.
uh, you don't sit and write down how I feel today every day
Yeah.
for 1 year after your breakup.
Yeah.
But after 1 year, or like, for example, like some people take some months, some people some weeks. Suppose, let's say, it took me around 3 years to move past a relationship. And all those 3 years, I didn't sit and write down, okay, how is my scale of moving? But after 3 years, around 3 years' time, I realized, okay, like, I'm fine with that. So I believe it's again, like, your body says to you, okay, now it's time, let's jump in. I think your experiences, the way you approach life changes, I guess, because
Absolutely.
I think every relationship or like anything that happens, first and foremost, just affect our core system, like your trust, your beliefs, the way you talk with people, judge people, and all of that. And I feel like once you heal, the way you approach all of this, you look at trust, you look at relationships, you look at life, career, finance, friendships, everything changes. And I think that is when you realize, oh yeah, like I've changed, or I'm changing, something's changing, I'm healing, or something like that. I feel it's a process, it's a journey, and you get to know it in, like, at some point of time that you have had some changes.
Yeah. Okay, that's a wonderful conversation with you on healing. Let's move to something which we hardly like we talk about, but we don't know the deeper concept of it. It's wellness. We always used to consider wellness is all about looking good, fit, doing exercise every day. But I think wellness is also it includes your emotional wellness, your mental wellness, your spiritual wellness, including your physical wellness. So, how would you define wellness as?
Okay, right now, for me, I think for the past 1 or 2 years also, it's have been the same. I think wellness is equal to functioning. Like, if you have, like, you have good wellness, like, or you're doing well, I
Hmm.
mean, like, you're functioning well. You're doing, like, you're not like, doing well means I feel like you're not functioning well.
Yeah.
So I can say the same thing, like, I feel like I'm emotionally, socially, and, like, in that aspect, I'm doing well.
Yeah.
But on the physical side, which again I've been talking today with my friends, I've been having some difficulty because right now I'm in the most out of shape that I have ever been in the past 3 to 5 years. So I can feel that, like, whenever I do some physical activity, or like some work, or I move around, I'm feeling that difference in how well I function. So it's affecting my basic things, or like the way I function as a whole. So I think that is how I define right now, like, how like, it is like simple measure. Are you able to do things that you want to do at any point, like physically, emotionally, socially, financially, mentally, how it is? That is how I define wellness right now. It is basically the way you function. It's how I define right now. And because I feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a 30 minutes we are discussing this, and I think podcast more than 30 minutes, hardly people used to listen all the podcast. So, okay, but I have one question which I thought to ask first, which I supposed to ask, but it just clicked into my mind right now. I saw your page, absolutely, it is one of the best page I have seen like on Instagram. It is full of so
Oh,
good content and all, and I'm telling this genuinely. Okay, so
oh,
I
thank
just
you
want
very
to
much.
ask this, that what made you feel to create content around like health, wellness, healing, and motivation and all.
I think it's a natural thing that we all do, but again, a very unnatural way we have at looking at things. I have seen I've had a journey through my emotions very badly, and I've taken support for that. During then, I've seen the best of my people, my loved ones, struggling with the same thing, and that is when I realized I've kept away from social media, from phones, from gadgets for almost good 6 months without internet survived. And that is when I realized the meaning of many things, like how well we connect to things, or how well are we attached to so many things, whether we knew how it is. That is when I started, where I asked a lot of questions. And that is how I realized, okay, there is a huge void in which, at least with the awareness, like everything is available easily, but people are not aware it is available. That is how I decided, okay, I want to do something. But also there is another thing, I always wanted to do things, educate people, help people, because that is one quality that I believe that I've got from my dad, like my biggest inspiration. And that I didn't know how I was supposed to help, but at one point I realized this is how I can. And there was a point in my life, or there used to be a point in my life, I used to hate people who used to make TikToks, videos, and all of that. It's like, they are like
Useless.
wasting their life and like useless
Yeah.
people. But now I realized how much of an impact they create in people's life, and how much I respect them. It has already changed. The meaning of that has already changed a lot. So that is how I entered into that. I realized there is a requirement, there is a need, there is a problem there. And I went on to like, if I can find some solution, let me find some solution. So it is not like when you go and see my page, you feel like, okay, I'm someone who have all the answers or like something like that, because it's mostly some gyan that I'm giving, and people hate gyan. But what I'm trying to do is I'm also in the process of figuring out
Yeah.
life. And you use one of the most favorite words that I have, evolution. So I'm constantly evolving, and I love another two words, that is figuring out. I'm constantly figuring out. So if at all, like I also believe in one theory, that is, if you have something, if you have a knowledge, and if that can help someone, you are bound to share that, whoever it is. Like if you are a 20-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, you have an information, you have an idea, you have some realization, you're supposed to share that, because that might help someone. And that is what books and all of this do. That is how I got into that. As I'm figuring out things, I'm fortunate enough to have like good people, or like good conversations, or good ideas, or privileged to read things or to know about things. There are not, like, not every people, or like not everyone is privileged to gain knowledge, or to go to school, or to have good connections in them. There is definitely a gap in the, like, in how we measure privilege, not only on money, knowledge, uh, opportunities, and everything. So if I can close that gap a bit, I would be the most successful person I ever known. And I just want to do that. That is how I got into creating content. That is why I manage the page.
Yeah, that's so amazing, huh? Okay. It's always, I got a lots of bundle of positive energy while I'm talking to you. Uh, and the timer is coming on my laptop. So I have a segment rapid fire, I think, which I did in the last time. So I am
Yeah.
just asking to you, would you like to do it again, or you can skip it for this?
We can do it. It's fine. I'm fine. It's your call. It's your show. It's your call. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna ask some questions which I have like asked some. I'll ask some good questions, like some questions, not all from my list. Okay, so the first question, it was success mean to you? What is success for you?
I think success for me is being myself. And that is one thing. I think that would be a cliche thing. But for me, I believe like what I'm trying to achieve right now is to reach a point in life where I can choose to spend my time where I want to.
Okay, who do you admire the most?
Okay, there are so many people. I think it would be disrespect to all the gurus, all the teachers that I've had from the day one on the planet. Definitely everyone, I believe, like, every people. And especially, as I said, my dad is my biggest inspiration. So I would say my dad.
Okay, so how would you describe yourself with three words?
Educator, right now an entrepreneur, and a seeker.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What is the one common myth which you want to debunk about your profession?
Oh, okay. That people who share things, or like, like, especially people, whoever it is, like professionals and all that, they know everything and they have figured out. No, nobody knows everything. Nobody has figured out anything. They're constantly just they're just provided with knowledge, some extra things that others don't know, or like they have tried to figure out, and that's it. Like everyone is figuring out and all of that. Nobody's like, like another also thing, everyone ask about like the confidence or like how the things that I feel, I believe, or I have known that everyone is underconfident in the world. Some people just pretends they're confident, and I believe like, everyone is pretending they are something. It's just one myth. Nobody is having any clue of what everything is. Everyone is figuring out.
Absolutely, everyone is figuring out. What's something people seems to misunderstand about you very easily?
There are so many things I feel. Um Everyone thinks that I'm a very extroverted person, because that is how I usually am seen. But I'm a very insecure and introverted person. Like I like my own company. Even for New Year's, I don't go for parties. I just be with myself and just enjoy my company. That is how introverted I am. At the end of the day, I want my own space and my own, like, that comfortable, lonely or solitude space. So that is one thing I would say, like one big thing. Like every time it's like, oh, you are like always having like, this Josh and Jovial and all that. It's like, no, I am this person who's like very insecure and very scared and very underconfident and very introverted person. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all from my side. At last, I would like to ask, like, do you want to ask something to me?
No, I don't want to ask any question, because I believe like, as you said, nobody like to hear advice or something. And, because again, but still people do as a responsibility. And I really want to appreciate you for doing the things that you are doing. You're like going on live with people, you're bringing in information, knowledge. I often go through your page sometimes, to go through the live of some people, to get to know about some really amazing individuals who are doing amazing work. And you're taking that effort with, I believe, like a good intention and good intuition to change the world, to make a difference. And I really manifest that you do get your manifestations answered. That is all I wanted to add. And thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for coming on my show. As I said, it's always amazing talking to you. I got to learn a lot from you and from your reels also. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. It's pleasure to host you again on my show. And I have just started this. Let's see where and how far I'll go. Just yeah, that's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.